Hey everyone, welcome back to the Emotional Regulation and Intimate Communication series. I'm your host, Erin Garrity. So today I am continuing my series and I wanted to talk about breaking the cycle of shame. Now, last week I coached at least 3 people on this topic, and it's important because the mind, its job is to judge. So when it judges, we form an opinion. So when we judge something, it is us using our experience and determining our preferences, determining if something is safe, and then we can get into determining things like, oh, that's gross, or oh, I like that, or that's not right, and kind of apply different ethics, so on and so forth. So this is the natural faculty of the mind, and it helps to keep us safe. It helps us to be able to discern if we can do so with a heart connection, basically what's right for us and what's not. And then we kind of like find our path based on that, on our judgment, right? So now sometimes we have judgment that we judge, so judging the judgment. And when we do that, many times we can shame ourselves. So I had a client who every time she would have a thought about someone else that was not like sunshine and rainbows, she would immediately shame herself and shut herself down. Now she would keep doing this to the point where it was hard for her to even function or, have independent thinking, because it was an abusive pattern that was planted there from a past partner. So we typically have these judgmental thoughts, like everybody does. I like to say that everybody has dirty, nasty, all types of thoughts about everything. Now, what you choose to focus on becomes your reality, certainly. So becoming aware of, oh, wow, I really judge that person if they're overweight, or, oh, wow, I'm really judging that person if they're not practicing a perfect asana, or I'm judging that person because they took a break when they were working out to tie their shoe, and I just think that, they're cheating themselves, or, whatever it is. These are just some thoughts that I've had in the past. So when we shame ourselves for having judgments, we disconnect from ourselves. And when we do that, it makes it very difficult for us to process. So this is a little similar to what I talked about with cover-up emotions. Cover-up emotions are ones like procrastination and boredom and rage that they're a sort of cover for these deeper emotions that we need to address. And we put the cover on top because maybe we've been disassociated from those emotions. We haven't been able to touch them. And so then we found some sort of cover-up emotion to put on top because we think that the one underneath it is worse. So we're so complex. So when you shame yourself, like shoulding yourself all the time and just being aware of your dialogue, if you're, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, you shouldn't do that, then you are shaming yourself, essentially. And when you do that, again, you lose the ability to be able to process your emotions. You lose the ability to be able to just like kind of let that judgment go. So I like to give this prompt when I help people meditate of, when a thought comes up, just let it pass by like a cloud in the sky. There's so many clouds in the sky that cover up the sun sometimes. And when the cloud comes across the sun, we don't say, that dirty, nasty cloud, da, da, da. Like it's a part of nature, right? So thoughts are kind of similar in that they are just constantly passing by. If you try to meditate and your objective is to stop your thoughts, good luck with that. You're probably going to be frustrated, and you're probably going to quit meditation because you're going to think, oh, I'm not cut out for this. The truth is that your mind is going to continue judging. It's going to continue having thoughts. And the key to the game, one of the cheat codes, is just to not put a lot of weight on it. Don't grab onto it. And if you do grab onto it, then become aware, stay connected to your breath, and just let it go. The more that we can do that, the more that we gain this ability to hear this softer, more profound voice of wisdom that exists within us, this sort of intuitive rising, as I call it. And when we can contact that and we can hear that voice, we have this sort of built-in little navigation system. It's like having a natural spiritual GPS built in. It's just many times, like imagine that there's a very, very tiny voice, but the radio's up so loud and you're just like, I can't hear. Maybe when the radio station ends and a commercial comes on in between that, oh, I thought I heard something. But if you can turn down the volume of the radio, that little voice, the volume will rise up. And then when you can do that, you have this natural built-in guidance that you can have with you pretty much all the time. It just depends on how much work you put in. So when we have a judgment, it's like so fickle. I mean, it comes just like how a rainbow appears. It's sort of like it's there, but you could stick your hand through it and maybe there's a pot of gold at the very end of it. I don't know. I'm Irish. I should know these things, but it's an illusion. And so your thoughts, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, that's a lot. I promise not all of them are even remotely important. And if you can, again, just recognize it for what it is. It comes and it goes, comes and it goes. Nothing is permanent, except for this rising force that is within you and all around us. And then at a certain point when we die, then this force kind of goes back out. And so this is a rented suit, right? So if you think about your thoughts a little bit more that way, then you'll put less weight on it and you don't have to judge yourself. Like I said, everybody has stimulus from the outside world. And if you're thinking that, oh, I shouldn't have said this, I shouldn't have thought this, then like, you're just shutting yourself down. You're going to lose the ability to correct the behavior and you're going to feel terrible while you're doing it. So as far as emotional processing, if you can, again, do this practice of letting your thoughts pass by, letting them go, knowing that more will come. That's just the way life is, and not judge yourself. Have compassion, have understanding, know that we're all in this together. You're going to have an easier time processing your emotions. And so get into the meat and potatoes of it. All right, I think that's it. And if you're interested in coming to India in 2025, we're going from June 3rd to the 16th. It's a sacred arts immersion retreat with me. So if you wanted to go to India, but you're kind of like, oh, I feel nervous about that, I have the best teachers, I have the best guides, I have the best place rented. So reach out to me. It also includes a module of life coaching, amongst a lot of other things. You can check out thriveyogafit.com and you can always reach out to me, Erin at erincoach.com. All right. Thank you so much and namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin at erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Thank you so much. Namaste.